Last year's Zelda Randomizer Tournament Standard Mode always guaranteed that your uncle would give you your sword, which is great, and it's great because you need a weapon to get through the escape sequence logically. This year, however, randomized swords means swords could be anywhere in the game. Uncle, though, is going to give you some sort of weapon, be it the bow, hammer, one of the canes, fire rod, any sort of weapon to get through the entire escape sequence with. And we don't know what it's going to be. So what's going to be your guess, Anik? What are we looking for our seeds?
I'm predicting a Burna. That'll be fun. Just make things a little bit spicy. Nothing much out of Link's house to start, just an arrow upgrade, so that's not going to give us any help at this point. Saw a quick map check from both players. I saw, was it just regular crystals on Eastern and Desert, or was Eastern a red?
Didn't entirely see. I'm sure we might see it again here soon. So
okay.
The moment of
truth.
Red
pendant on Hera. Ooh, a hammer.
That'll be nice. Hammer is one of the few items that opens up desert as well, and not desert. I'm sorry, Dark World access. And a sword. What?
Well, there goes the fun from Crazy Uncle.
Oh, Uncle's still crazy because hammer early is still very nice. It does tempered sword damage, so they're still going to be using it quite a bit, I would say.
And hammer's one of those items that can be difficult to find to get the progression it leads to. It can be hidden in some weird places, so getting it early is really nice, I feel like.
It's just one of those items because it's required in so many different locations. It's absolutely nice to see early so you're not hunting around for it later. It cannot troll you.
Now we're making our way down to the basement of Escape. We have to go get Zelda so we can leave. Hammer makes it a lot faster, though. Oh, a half magic.
I mean, that's nice. It would be nicer if you had something that used magic, so that would be beneficial right now, but I'll take it for later.
I feel like it's a bit taunting to get half magic when Uncle gives you not a magic weapon.
A little bit. It's like a fish hook. It kind of pulls you and says, "Ah, look what you could have had."
Would make those burner starts all that much easier, but not today. Got another item coming up here. And just a piece of heart.
Now, one thing new while we're making our way through Escape and kind of some common areas, I wanted to point out something that's new to this version 29 of the seed. Troupster has blue hearts. Flaafykins has yellow hearts. Normally in the vanilla version of the game, they're red hearts, red being blood, color of life, things of that nature, blah, blah, blah. One of the admins and the programmers of the game realized that we needed to make the game maybe a little bit more accessible to runners who maybe had some red-green color blindness going on. So we made the option to go ahead and change the colors of the heart so that people with certain colorblind disabilities would be able to see their health a little bit easier at the same time. So we see Troupster and Flaffy highlighting that in our blue and yellow hearts right here.
Yeah, it gives a nice change, and it just makes it easier for those players too. It can be so hard to tell the difference. That was a great feature when I first read about it.
So we're seeing two very talented runners right here. They are just, I feel like I'm in a Boston Red Sox game. We're friends holding hands side by side. Someone sing Sweet Caroline for me here.
Yeah, we were almost frame by frame aligned there for a minute just to show how equally skilled they are.
I mean, I'm super excited to see how much sync we're going to get. The more items we get as we're going through the entire escape sequence and even Kakariko, the greater chance we're going to see of route divergence. Now, both of these runners have spent a little bit of time beating up on some guards. They both have a bomb right now. Troop has a slight advantage, but they both have a bomb. They'll be able to get through the entire escape sequence and then go ahead and open up that last part with the bombable wall there.
Yeah, Flaffy wanted to kill those guards to get a bomb, and that one fought back a little bit, but he got the bomb, so it was worth it.
I mean, the amount of time that you save from farming for a few bombs right at the moment, as opposed to having to route the back end of escape back in later, it just cannot be measured. Okay, it can be measured, and it's usually a couple minutes, so you definitely want to go ahead and do it.
And a blue bottle over there on Troupsters. Yes, it is very worth it to do that and spend the time grinding for bombs. You'd like to see even up to an 8-bomb drop if you get lucky. But you'd settle for 1.
Well, speak of the 8-bomb drop, Troupster just grabbed it.
Now you're set up all the way through Kakariko and all the other fun caves that come later.
Worth pointing out that Blue Bottle will allow them to get the sick kit while they're in the Kakariko early routing. Another one of those things that, they can sometimes forget if you get a bottle a little bit later. So it's nice to be able to go ahead and knock it out in your first pass through Kakariko.
And the lamp, just the map and a 5 rupee, but the lamp early is, oh no, Flaafykins takes an unfortunate
Flaffy.
death.
Pikachu
That
has
hurts.
faded. Rattata uses quick attack. It's super effective.
That's not super effective. That's just a normal 2-kit. Yes, that's just unfortunate. You hate to see that in escape like that. At least it's in the dark part, so it's not as long to recover, I guess. But there's no good way to look at that. That's unfortunate. The second bottle over on Troupster's screen's got a B in it, so that's not going to be very useful, except for maybe 1 or 2 small locations. But you can fill another potion with it later. They're taking the save and quit to go down to Hype Cave in the dam, it looks like.
Yeah, the dam and certainly the mini Moldorm cave at this point in
That's
time.
what I meant.
Troupster likes to do some kind of unusual routing. He'll route around here, and I'm going to say this. I'm calling it right now. Troupster is going to keep that B and use it in Ganon's Tower.
And the bow is also down in the dam. We're finding some quick progression items here early. With the bow and the lamp, think he's gonna go over to Eastern pretty quick, right?
Yeah, I think that might have been Troupster's thinking in coming down here specifically. If you get the bow, you'll be able to route over to Eastern almost immediately. Go ahead and knock out what we know is already a crystal dungeon.
Be nice to get that out of the way that early. It's rare to get. I've never gotten into that dungeon that early before and able to complete it, so that's going to be a good feeling. Carrying the fish to bring him back to Lake Hylia just to make sure that he still lives, though. It's important in Randomizer.
That's amazing, Troupster. You're such a good Samaritan there, saving the pixel fish.
Flaafykins has made his way out of escape through the sanctuary. Looks like he's going to take a bit more conventional routing, I would imagine, maybe up to Lumberjack Cave into the Lost Woods locations.
Yeah, that means we'll likely see some more information here from Flaffy here directly, but meanwhile, Troupster getting a lot of love here.
Unfortunately, it's not looking like a whole lot else, though.
Unfortunately not, but that bow's enough of a solid early routing, I would say jackpot at this point in time, because he can go right over to Eastern at this point in time.
That's true. Do you think that's why he skipped out on Ice Cave then? Ice Rod Cave? I feel like that's going to come back to haunt him, not getting it at this point, but Eastern is just so tempting.
Well, ooh.
Speaking of the Ice Rod, I guess, it is there in Lumberjack, so we're going to have to look at that Turtle Rock item very closely on the map check and see if it's a required Aghanim seed or not.
Oh, and that's going to be intel that Troupster does not have going in. He's made the gambles that sometimes you don't necessarily need to do that. In this case, looks like you're going to have to, Troop.
Blue mail over in Sahasrala's hut. That's always nice to find early. Makes everything so much easier. Just a single arrow in Lost Woods there.
Flaafykins is clearly trying to wage the war for chat's love and affection right now. Chat loves people wasting their time picking up superfluous items like the single arrow.
Hey, you never know if that arrow comes in handy at some point.
I'll admit, I've been in commentary streams where that single arrow was literally the last arrow in their quiver to kill Ganon, so don't knock it.
And then never knock it. If the game gives it to you, it's got to be useful at some point, you'd imagine.
Absolutely. The last arrow to kill Ganon.
More love for Troupster, but just a bunch of money down in the basement of Blind Side. But the gloves changed that. That is gonna start opening up locations here pretty quick with the hammer. All we need is the Moon Pearl for Dark World access. And the cane. Blind had everything hiding down there.
Oh my, so both Cane and the Power Glove, both are definitely good items, and I imagine Troupster will go there eventually. I mean, you can't avoid Kakariko. Just seeing those two will definitely give Flaffy some route encouragement, we'll say. Wonder if Flaffy will route away from South Shore area. There's the mirror.
Mirror.
So worth noting that actually between the mirror, the Power Glove, the lamp, and the hammer, Death Mountain is open to Flaffy, so including the east side. So Flaffy very well could completely avoid the South Shore area, and if she feels behind, can go ahead and route all of Death Mountain in the light world at this point, which wouldn't be a bad move with what she knows.
Not at all, and you have to imagine with not checking the south side, you're not going to get the bow, and therefore probably stay away from Eastern. Which is where the Moon Pearl happens to be, so it's going to come down to who goes to where the other has been at this point, right?
I mean, what's the scene, Enac? I mean, what?
I don't even know. It's giving everything right away, but also tantalizing them with the ice route and Lumberjack Cave, which Troupster doesn't even yet know about.
Well, and neither of them really know about anything. The upside is that Troupster, while he's going through and he'll have the Moon Pearl, he still won't have Dark World access quite yet. I mean, he can get it relatively quickly once he completes this. I'm worried about Flaffy not going to Eastern for a little bit because of her access to Death Mountain, but that's going to route her away from both the bow and the Moon Pearl? I mean, what?
You're only going to be able to stay away from that so long. I didn't happen to catch what was on the bookshelf in the hut, but the race game is just 10 arrows. And you have to imagine she's heading up to Death Mountain, as you mentioned. Just a big 20 in bookshelf.
No, she is going to stick with the traditional routing, it looks like, which is a good play for Flaffy. As we know, that'll push her over to the eastern area. Will certainly at least keep pace with items with Troupster.
Definitely, and that is a wonderful play to make. I would have made a terrible mistake and gone up to Death Mountain in her case, and it wouldn't have worked out at all for me.
Oh yeah, by this time I would have no idea what's going on.
And Troupster's just flying through Eastern at this point, taking on the Armos Knights. It's a bunch of arrows in each one. Is it 3 or 4?
It is 3 in each one, and he is just machine gunning this. See if he can get the quick kill before. Yes, he does.
Well done. Mirror was in Kakariko Well, and Kane was in Blind's basement.
Yep. So well done, Troupster. Kind of a healthy seed. Also, we're already at what, 7 hearts, 7 or 8 hearts already from Troupster. We're not even 15 minutes in. I mean,
along with the blue mail.
really?
You gotta imagine they're feeling pretty secure with those hearts and the blue mail and the sword already too.
I mean, I don't. At this point in time, it feels like you're invincible. You're going through the light world with blue mail. Nothing really sticks. You might take a half-heart damage here and there. Now, Troupster is going to be doing his Kakariko routing, but did not check the Lumberjack ledge. So Flaffy does have an intelligence advantage right now, knowing that Ice Rod is on the Lumberjack ledge. Now, we haven't taken a peek to see if Turtle Rock is going to be required, but you got to be thinking that in the back of your mind if you're Flaffy.
Oh, for sure. And heading up to Ice Rod Cave here too, she'll be able to check this location that Troupster didn't. So if this also yields something, she's going to have a very significant knowledge advantage. Oh, but it's just a little bit of love. Nothing super important. So now you go to Eastern, probably?
Oh, I mean, after you get the bow and the lamp, absolutely. But, I mean, I still feel that Death Mountain is a solid play as well.
Yeah, and depending upon what's up there, both of them could wind up being solid plays too, even with Moon Pearl being an Eastern. But, I mean, with the crystal there, you have to just go and knock that out. Troupster's making his way through blinds now. He's going to find the cane. Once he goes up in that bomb wall, gets his gloves. So now he's thinking Dark World probably here pretty quickly. Right after this, we can do it in Kakariko Village. So
that's entirely possible as well. He does have his Dark World access sub 20 minutes. And he's already in Kakariko, so he would be able to route all this together. He wouldn't even necessarily need to save and quit there after the maze sequence.
Flaffy making her way over into Eastern. Troupster's going to find the mirror and wonder what's going on with this seed at this point.
The seed is just giving you everything you need. We don't know what's going to troll them. Version 29 up to this point in time, if there's a theme, it is give you everything until you need 1 or 2 things, and then it will hide it in the most inconvenient location ever.
It developed a bit of a sense of humor that way, it seems like.
I mean, when in doubt, I blame Willard.
It seems fair. And you have to wonder, with Death World or Death Mountain access already this early, and likely neither runner checking it, what's going to be hiding up there?
I mean, that's a great question. I don't really know. Part of me wants to say that nothing's up there, that it's saving it until you can do Dark World Death Mountain at the same time might be possible. Since we already have access to the Dark World, I mean, think about everything in Dark World we have access to right now. We have access to Thieves Town. We have access to all of Village of Outcasts. We have access to at least a few treasure chests in Skull Woods. We have Hype Cave. We have Digging Game. With the hammer, we have Pyramid and Catfish. We also have kind of the whole Zora area. So, except
Pod
for
is fully completable, right?
Yeah, Pod is fully completable as well. So with as much stuff as we have access to, the idea that just East Death Mountain has our only progression at this point in time, not sure about that, but it could. I don't know.
And with these variety of decisions that can be made, that's where it's really going to show off the routing skills of both of these runners, trying to put those pieces together when so many options are available to them.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that there are so many options, And we got a route divergence almost immediately after the escape sequence, with Troupster making that early dive over into Eastern. One is exciting as a commentator, but it's exciting, for everyone else as well, because we're not seeing this side-by-side, hand-in-hand, back and forth linear seed. We're getting some route divergence. We're getting some excitement.
It's making it very fun to watch at this point. And Aghanim is required.
Yep, he's going to the Dark World, so that's significant. I hope that Troupster knows that he needs to route in that Lumberjack ledge to at least check it. Otherwise, he's going to be running around for quite a while.
Well, and you have to imagine he probably was going to do it when he went up to Death Mountain, but then he got sidetracked by Dark World access in Kakariko. Oh, he gets the Red Mail and Bombos and Hype Cave, though, so very healthy seed. Now, a lot of the risk is being taken out pretty early, which is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's healthy. You get Red Mail already in that. I'll give that a B cave. It's not, an A plus Hype Cave, but Bombos could absolutely open Misery Mire or Turtle Rock, or both. Red Mail is certainly nice, especially early game. I don't think Troupster or Flaffy is going to have to worry about health hardly at all. So, yeah, B cave.
And with all those stresses, all those worries gone, it's just going to even lend even more credence to this as being, who can route all these options together in the best way. It's going to be really fun to see. Doing the pyramid check, though, here. Let's see what's hiding over there. Silvers?
No, just 5 arrows.
I got excited. I really wanted it to be silvers.
And I will say this, and this is not, it's not necessarily an unpopular opinion, but it's an opinion that definitely exists. So I'm putting it out there. Linear seeds, if a seed is super linear, just one breadcrumb leading to the next, favors the runner that has the best execution. And between Flaffy and Troupster, having watched both of them, I'm comfortable saying that Troupster is the better execution runner out of these two. The more you open the seed up and make it about routing choices and things of that, the more you open it up for someone who maybe doesn't have the strongest execution to come and make good choices and good gambles and win. That plays into Flaffy's hands right now.
Oh, absolutely. There's so many options that, she can route it all together and give herself a very good chance of winning this race. With a great kill on Armless Knights, making her way down into Dark World and probably go right straight into Pod.
Yeah, it looks like she's heading to the Pod portal and says, I'm right in there.
We're going to be in alignment for the first time since Escape.
I don't want alignment. I want one of you to go to Death Mountain. Come on. Flaffy checking on everything. So she's seeing that crystal up in Turtle Rock and knows that Aga's got to happen at some point in time. Can't quite get in there yet. We need either the Master Sword or the Cape to be able to actually do Aga. I expect Flaffy to go ahead and dive in there as soon as she has the capacity to go ahead and do that. Just get it out of the way.
And you have to feel like the longer that Troop doesn't know about that is just the bigger advantage for Flaffy.
Oh, absolutely, because, what's going to happen is Troupster is going to keep running and following the seed and doing his execution until he's just looking for that ice rod. And it's possible, and help me out here, chat, but it's entirely possible, knowing Troop's style of play, that he would be aggressive in going up to Turtle Rock to check to see if the ice rod is there, which would certainly not be good for Troupster.
No, that would be really unfortunate. Okay, so routing the lumberjack cave into Skull Woods makes a lot of sense, and you have to hope he does that.
He does. I know other runners will prefer to hold off even the lumberjack check until they have the boots, because they say they just until they have the boots, it's not even worth checking. So that might be a possibility. And because chat loves trolls, wouldn't that be a troll seed, ladies and gents? Boots in Turtle Rock with ice rod required on lumberjack ledge. Is that something you might be hoping for?
Oh, that would be amazing. Be one of the more amusing double dips I can even think of. Though so far, not a lot is being yielded out of Palace of Darkness here.
So far, but we're just getting to the good meat here directly. Palace of Darkness has a reputation for being kind of front-loaded with a bunch of keys and other things, and all the goodies are in the back.
It's nice having the lamp the first time you come here, too. As someone who's not quite as familiar with the dark rooms, having it for the maze just makes it so much nicer.
All right, so Troupster's getting ready to start the back end of escape of a pod. I'm sorry. We'll be checking, of course, the dark room over here gets 50 rupees. I didn't think he had a ton of rupees, but all of a sudden I see with 373, and he's doing all right.
Yeah, there was a 300 rupee. Man, I can't remember anymore. I know there was at least one of them. So they're getting close to having, that range for Zora, which is always nice that you have that out of the way.
Yeah, judging from all the other areas that both of these runners really have access to at this point, I can't imagine them going to Zora, at least doing a sequence break quite yet to get there.
No.
They would sequence break in order to get Waterfall Ferry and route all that together. So I think they're going to wait until they have flippers or are out of options at this point.
Tavern, that's where that 300 rupee was. Thank you. Oh, we got the hammer yump. Oh, never mind. Just going to go do it the normal way.
Yeah, I think he realized that it doesn't really save a whole lot of time when you have all the keys.
I was confused at first. I was like, why is the bomb on the ground? But then I was like, oh, wait a minute, hammer yum, that's right. Me being new to NMG, I wasn't even aware that's what he was doing at first. What's hiding in that big chest? Let's find out. Just a big 20.
I mean, if you were betting, a big 20 would probably be the best bet you could make.
Oh, yes, for sure. But you never want to see it. I shouldn't say never, but usually you don't want to see it. Now Troupster is going to be making his way back to take down Helmasaur King. And Flaffy will be right behind him.
Yeah, it's interesting. Even after that early route divergence, that these two are kind of syncing back up at this point in time. Going to be meeting. The only difference at this point really is going to be Flaffy's death and escape.
Which looks to be, basically almost completely removed from impacting the run here too much. Especially with the knowledge advantage about Ice Rod. So for that wonderful Pikachu sprite, when they get the new mail, do the cheeks change color? Is that what's different on there?
Yeah, the Pikachu's cheeks change color. So we have blue sparks right now.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I love seeing the red guard.
Yeah, shout out while we're thinking about it to the sprite animators and developers for Randomizer. There's 70 some odd sprites that you can choose from when you're downloading the game. So they do put a lot of work in and really is one of the defining features of Rando. So kudos to the entire development team for that.
And it leads to some of the best Easter eggs when you finally see the bunny sprite for a custom sprite that you've never seen before. I always look forward to that.
Ah, the bunny. You've not seen the bunny sprite for Pikachu?
I actually haven't, so I'm kind of hoping I get to see it, but obviously it's not going to happen anymore unless you get a bunny beam.
Oh, we'll get a bunny beam and you will see it, and it will be glorious. I won't spoil it for you.
Well, thank you. Meanwhile, we're talking about bunny beam. Troupster just took down Helmasaur King. No big deal. Flaffy's right behind him. They're just finishing up the Turtle Dark Room before the tunnel up to Helmasaur King.
Yeah, these terror pins are, as their namesake suggests, a terror.
I forgot that was their actual name. That's a brilliant name.
I know, right? Like as a kid, you're like, what's that mean? And then terror pins comes up. Ah, so good. Thank you, Nintendo.
Alright, now Troupster's started back at Sanctuary. You have to wonder if he's going to go check that Lumberjack Cave at this point. Or if he's just going to head straight up Death Mountain. Let's hope not.
We'll see. Yeah, he's going straight up Death Mountain. Okay.
Oh no.
Well,
Let's really hope he does it in the Skull Woods check later.
Yeah, I mean, he has lots of options to go ahead and do it. I'm not concerned yet. It's a knowledge gap that he can obtain eventually. So Flaffy with her kill on Helmasaur. The old
Very
man
easy.
says, "Here you go. Here's some bombs."
Blow something up for me. We're max capacity anyway, so, you know. Thank him for his kindness, at least.
I'm sorry, young man. I wasn't able to get through this dark cave, but here's some explosives for you.
All he had to do was blow himself out of the cave with them. It'd have been really easy. Ooh, Master Sword is on Spectacle Rock.
And that is going to signal to Flaffy that she'll have access to go ahead and do Aghanim now. Troupster still won't know, but that might be an interesting play here, and another route divergence.
Yeah, that would be good for Flaffy, but she's deciding to do Hype Cave and then Dark Kakariko? No, that doesn't work. You don't have mitts.
Now, she might route up to the pyramid as well. That's a possibility.
Oh, sure. Ice Rod is at Lumberjack Cave. And Troupster is deciding to check Hera while we're here. It is fully completable, including the basement with that fire source if you have to, though you never want to. Uh-oh. The small key signifies that something is going to be in the basement. It doesn't feel like checking it at this point.
No, that could come back and bite him a little bit later, but he has enough other options to check that if he gets desperate, he'll go ahead and check that. Now, if something is up in Tower of Hera, that routing decision, ooh.
And the flute is on the island, so you're going to need the mitts to get that.
You're going to need the mitts, and mitts is all that you're really going to need. Everything else, I mean, it's in Hookshot Cave, but you kind of route around it. Man, I love it when something just happens on screen and I just stop mid-sentence and I have no idea. It's the only thing I can do but react.
Falling down through the spiral cave with no boots is just no fun to do that, but it's right in the route, so you have to bite the bullet on that one. And it looks like Flaffy's gonna go route up a catfish check and then mirror and potentially do the Light World locations there. Troupster just finding some bombs and a little bit of love down in Paradox Cave, going up into the... I actually don't know the name of this cave up here with the 5 locations and the mini moldworms in it.
So I think chat's demanding that I sing something to them in a little bit, and I absolutely will as soon as we finish up here. Nothing in Paradox Cave, unfortunately.
More love, though. Which is probably not what he wants to find at this point.
Nope, and just a little bit of love otherwise, so...
Flaffy doesn't even want that piece of heart from Catfish. He says, no thank you.
Oh, VTorp told me not to sing, so I'm not going to sing. Because VTorp rules all.
The silvers are on Zora Ledge.
That's going to be interesting. I don't know. You know, if you have Master Sword and getting ready to climb Ganon's Tower, I might route over and get it. If you already have Tempered, though, I don't know if either of these runners would bother with that.
Oh, thanks for the shield, King Zora. That was definitely worth the 500 rupees for that Fisher Price shield. Troupster's heading up. Can't go quite that way, but heading up to Skull Woods probably here.
Skull Woods is going to be a pretty reliably consistent place to find at least one thing. Usually, I mean, there's only 2 items that you can possibly get out of Skull Woods, but just how the logic seems to work, there's always something there for one reason or another.
I guess we don't yet have Fire Rod. It's one of the items we actually haven't been given, so maybe not yet. You only can check those first couple chests in Skull Woods, which, I mean, you may as well do since you're here. It's pretty quick, but, you know, you're only going to maybe just get a couple opportunities. But you never know what's in there.
All right, looks like Flaffy is going to be following right behind Troupster. Flaffy has avoided Death Mountain up to this point in time, which is to her benefit. We haven't found anything really great on Death Mountain other than Master Sword. That might be our ticket to going ahead and doing Aghanim eventually.
Yeah, that was the last item needed for it, though you can't get the item, like you mentioned, without the boots, but those could be anywhere at this point. Might just have to go do that eventually, but yeah, need to get the Master Sword first. It's weird that nothing else was up on Death Mountain with all those locations, though.
Well, and you know, to their credit, you know, Troupster went up there because, you know, that's 7 treasure chests that he had access to in addition to everything else. Flaffy, though, I think is, with everything else that's available, thought, you know, I'm going to hold off until I have a better option and I can route in Dark World Death Mountain. Now, if Flaffy does end up going there and then clears out Tower of Hera, and that ends up being something, that'll put Flaffy at a much better advantage as well.
That'll be a huge advantage at this point. You can't imagine Troupster's going to go back and check Tower of Hera anytime soon. Troupster's done with Skull Woods, and oh, there's the Tempered off of the Bumper Cave. So Cape is going to be nice to find at some point to get that.
So here's a question for you, Enak, and here's a question for chat. You're getting ready to climb Ganon's Tower. You only have Master Sword, and you are currently silverless. And you do have the cape. Do you go out of your way to go ahead and get the Tempered Sword, or do you go out of your way and get the silvers, or both, or neither?
I don't trust my execution at all, so I would get anything that makes the Ganon fight easier for me. Bumper Cave is a fairly quick get if you know it's there, so I would get that for sure. Silver's is a bit more out of the way, but knowing myself, I would screw up too rarely or too frequently to not want to get those. So yeah, I would go get the Silvers too.
Yeah, I've done Silverless Ganon enough that I think I'd be comfortable doing it, but MS Silverless is just so difficult to do. I think routing Tempered would be the way to go there.
And per this conversation, Flaffy has picked up the cape, so she checks the Bumper Cave. That's going to be a nice find too.
Oh, and she'll just route that together right away. That will be her access to Aghanim. We may see Flaffy heading over there if she heads up there that often.
Let's see what's over in the chess game. Oh, just a little bit more love. One interesting thing about this seed, it seems like with an Aghanim required seed, you usually have to see an Aghanim kill fairly early, but this one's holding off for a rather long time because of the Ice Rod, and you don't need to get it quickly, but even still.
Well, and we haven't found the boots yet, so it's not imperative, and you know that you don't even need to get it until you plan on going up to Turtle Rock. So there's enough other things to do that I don't blame, well, speak of the boots, commentator's blessing.
It's only like the second or third time you've done that this run. And now that she has the cape and the boots, she might decide to go do Aghanim and not find the Tempered or the Master Sword.
Oh, that's a possibility as well. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Yeah, it'd be completely unfortunate. I think Flaffy will eventually get it, but the longer she avoids these sword upgrade locations on Spectacle Rock and Bumper Cave, the more Troupster can pull ahead, because I don't care what she tells you, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen probably, but the size of your sword matters.
Matters a lot in terms of just making the run overall easier, and at a certain point technically possible, because you need to get the Master Sword at least, so... Oh, that's gotta look pretty nice up there though, especially with that cape in tow.
Absolutely.
Interesting in chat. Yes, this is Flaffy, not Pika Pals.
Oh, come on, Flaffy, you can do it.
Ah, this time. Lifting up that rock to show it who's boss. Nice job, Flaffy. Troupster's running through Thieves Town here very quickly.
Oh, that was about as well as you can do the Hellway there.
Makes it look really easy when it happens like that. I've never done that. Just a big 20 in the bump or the bonk rocks.
So Flaffy doing this North Hyrule route at this point in time, going to be checking Graveyard Ledge. Will be able to go ahead and do King's Tomb as well.
Oh, because you can go around the other side. Yes, with the mirror. Mm-hmm. I've never actually done that, but that's really interesting.
Yeah, and it's considered in logic too. So you are not actually required to have Titan's Mitt to get that particular item location. In fact, Titan's Mitts can be there.
Oh, that would be rather harsh. Let's see if the basement of Thieves Town is holding anything for Troupster. Well, maybe
Oh,
the
that
big
key, yeah.
Just some bombs in King's Tomb, though, unfortunately. and a bomb upgrade for Troupster, which is slightly better.
Kinda. I mean, after a certain point, does the size of your bomb bag really matter?
No,
I'm horrible. This is what happens when I stay up late, guys. I get punch drunk here.
it's really hard to commentate when you keep making me laugh like that. Alright, let's see how this blind fight goes. Being crushed by big objects is depressing. I love those puns. Every time I look forward to them.
So Troupster's doing a pretty good job of the scripted blind fight at this point in time and gets the one cycle.
Nearly flawless fight. And the mitts are on blind. In pendant blind.
What?
Which
I
is...
mean, yeah, you should expect it at this point in time. And it was a green pendant, so it's worth completing anyway. But okay, so hope you planned on dipping pendant dungeons, Flaffy, because you're gonna have to either way.
Though she is making her way up Death Mountain at this point, you have to wonder if she's also going to make the check into Tower of Hair that Troupster skipped once he found the small key. But Troupster's going to dig in the digging game. I wonder if he's going to make any fun design or just try to get down to the end of the randomness there. Ah, just a big 20. And Flaffy has a tempered sword at this point, which is just going to be really nice. Red mail and tempered sword at this point is going to make the game a lot nicer.
Oh, absolutely. And Flaffy's set in terms of equipment right now. Silvers would be nice. She knows where they are. Probably not going to go back. Flaffy's pretty well set for equipment. She's just looking for the fire rod and the hook shot and the flippers at this point in time.
And Flaffy is also mirroring out of Hair once finding the small key. So both runners are going to leave Tower of Hair for later. Just 50 rupees over at Old Stumpy for Troupster.
Flaffy is going to see that flute, and unlike Troupster, who went here a little bit earlier, Flaffy's routing and Dark World will be able to cover Dark Death Mountain and be able to go over and get that flute. So advantage Flaffy at this point in time.
Unfortunately, Flaffy has yet to get the mitts, though.
Oh, right.
So she actually will not be able to get the flute.
Okay, my bad. I completely blanked that she didn't have the mitts yet.
I thought so too, and it's like, oh, this is perfect. That's going to be really tempting, though, for later.
I'm kind of curious why Flaffy put off going to Death Mountain, because if you're going to go up and you're going to delay going up, you want to delay where you have the mitts so you can go up there with both.
Yeah, knock out both sides at the same time. But in terms of sheer, number of locations, even just the light world, there is a lot here. There's 300 rupees from the dwarves or Troupster.
He's quite happy you rescued him. That's good rescue money there.
Gave his entire fortune. Probably would rather have a sword upgrade. Let's see, is that purple chest going to go on a nice adventure around Hyrule with Troupster?
It's a horrible idea when you have boots to go on an adventure with that purple chest.
I know you don't move any slower with the chest and the boots, but it feels like you move slower.
Well, just the fact that you can't dash on all these straightaways, and Troupster's going to have to effectively abandon the treasure chest for a little bit right there while he goes up, checks to see what's in this location, going to find his tempered sword, and definitely going to get it.
And you have to imagine at this point that neither runner's probably going to go back and get the silver arrows with the both having tempered.
Well, here's the deal. Flaffy's gone there, but Troupster hasn't. So if Troupster holds off on doing Zora until he has his flippers, he will definitely grab those silvers.
That's true. That's true. Flaffy's checking out Spike Cave here. Use to activate. Oh, the half magic makes that really nice.
And
it's down to 1 heart.
Well, and the reason for that, literacy.
Literacy makes things interesting. Oh, but Troupster didn't check Lumberjack again.
Nope. So Flaffy's still with the knowledge gap at this point in time. So the reason that you're going to see a lot of runners end up opting to burn their health down to 1 or 2 hearts and then use their magic is when you save and quit, you'll always start with a set number of hearts, but you'll start with the same amount of magic that you had whenever you left the save and quit. So they'll preserve as much of their magic as they possibly can, so they have the most once they save and quit. Your health doesn't matter. You'll always have the same start health.
That makes perfect sense. Learning while I'm commentating, that's a great feeling.
I am happy to educate you, sir. Although be forewarned, half of what I say I make up on the fly.
But it sounds so good when you say it that I just trust it implicitly. And this is the Bombos tablet check. Nice that you had the literacy to route into desert down here. Just 50 rupees. Not a huge reward, though.
No, and really a solid routing down here. Check that. Going to check Agina, and then right over here to desert opens up for us.
The Troupster looks like he's going to be doing the same. He's going to get the purple chest, but he's not going to have the book to check Bombos.
And he's going to do desert at all. So if desert has our progression, that's more advantage for Flaffy.
Well, in addition to desert being a crystal, too, she can just knock it out while she's here. Boots and a fire source.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping Flaffy from going ahead and knocking this out entirely.
More rupees on the desert ledge, so we're not going to be going to get that.
Troupster looks like he's on his way over to Dark Death Mountain now, which will be good because he'll be able to pick up his flute while he's over here. Misery Mire may not be required, but flute is just so helpful when it comes to routing things around.
And you can check Turtle Rock's medallion while you're here. It's unfortunate not having hookshot for completing hookshot cave when you go to Dark World Death Mountain, but it's still going to be great just to get the flute. The ease of getting around the high roll with it's just great to have that.
Absolutely. Now, let's see. Troop is on his way down to the bottom. He's going to be routing it that way.
Yes, and Troop getting the flute gives him Desert Palace access. That is really important right now. Meanwhile, Troop's going to go check the Super Bunny Cave at the same time before getting his flute.
Well, and he'll be able to go ahead and check that first treasure chest in Hookshot Cave. By logic, you can bonk to get there, so he will likely check that one as well.
Flaffy's first item in Desert Palace is just 5 rupees, so that's a bit unfortunate.
Not what Flaffy was hoping for at all.
Though these are, I guess, free checks because you need to complete a desert anyway. But you never want to see it.
And Bombos is required to open Turtle Rock, so both of our runners have access to Turtle Rock and can get in the front door. Oh! Ether is your other treasure.
Have to wonder. It's nice to always find the medallions, especially when you don't know where you're going to need them at this point. Those, with Meyer being a pendant, we're only going to need Bombos. Unless the Sea really decides to start trolling these runners.
I mean, this happened. Hookshot in Pendant Meyer? Totally a thing.
I mean, with the mitts from Thieves Town, it's fully accessible, assuming you have the medallions. Let's just hope that doesn't happen.
Well, it depends on who you're rooting for. I mean,
That's true. Flaffy's running very quickly through the back half of Desert Palace, making her way up to Land Molas.
oh, here comes Troupsters. He's going to pick up literacy as he's going through this spike cave.
You don't have the Ether tablet checked yet, so you never know what that's going to yield. Or when it's going to get checked. I suppose you could round it within here if you ever wanted to.
Good. We'll see what ends up happening.
Flaffy is taking on Land Molas now. Temper's Sword will make quick work of these. Meanwhile, Troupster's running back over to Kakariko Village, it looks like. Still not checking Lumberjack Cave, come on.
I mean, at this point, I think he just presumes it's not going to be a thing. He's getting the flute, though, which is going to be great. I think he's going to use the flute to go down to the Meyer area to check Meyer Shed and Checkerboard Cave. Also to see what medallion to open Misery Meyer. Flippers are kind of preventing us from either Swamp or Ice Palace at this point in time, at least in logic. And Hookshot for both of those as well. So not quite sure where else to go other than, yeah, let's dip Meyer.
Yeah, the Meyer Shed plus Checkerboard is a lot of easy, quick overworld locations. Oh, he's going to go turn in that green pendant, though, from Thieves Town. This could be really important, actually. Because if this is a progression item, that's going to put him very far. Oh, but it's just bombs. Well, there goes that. Flaffy making her way over to Kakariko Village. Have to imagine she's thinking about Thieves Town at this point. No Fire Rod means Skullwoods isn't very profitable.
Absolutely. Although
And she's already done
could.
Skullwoods. The front half.
I was wondering when we're going to get a pedestal check, because there's still a lot of things that could be on the pedestal. Thieves Town and Tower of Hera are both clearable. Misery Meyer now with the flute and mitts available as well. So
Ether is the medallion to enter Misery Meyer,
oh my goodness.
which Flaffy has, and Troupster does not. This has been a very crazy seed. Pedestal hype is very alive at this point. Doesn't mean by any means we're gonna have it, but it's in the cards at least.
It's absolutely in the cards. Normally, you know, you look at your items and you have to discount, okay, what does and doesn't work. You look at the items that Troupster has in particular, and anything he doesn't have, except for Ice Rod, since we know where that is, could be on the pedestal at this point in time.
And that's such an uncomfortable feeling, knowing that, you know, it's not just one item that could be there that, you know, you might encounter. It's all of the progression items at this point could be there.
Meanwhile, Flaffy is doing exactly what we need her to do in Thieves Town. Going to go ahead and clear it out, I hope. Titan's Mitts is going to be on blind, plus that green pendant.
Yeah, it's nice locations, and then the mitts are going to open up everything, or a lot of the things that are blocking her that Troupster has access to. The Troupster does have Ether now. Might go back to Meyer after finishing up Desert.
Here's what I think, and this might just be my bias coming through here. I think before you dip Meyer, you go and check the pedestal, because if you find out that it's going to be a required item, you go ahead and full clear Meyer. Otherwise, you just dip it for the 2 items and get out. But what you don't want to have happen is you dip for the 2 items, get out, and then realize you have to dip back into Meyer, because some of those opening rooms for Meyer are a bit of a pain and take some extra time.
Yeah, it's never fun doing the Meyer double dip. The unfortunate thing with the pedestal check is you can't route it into Skull Woods without the fire rod, so it's not convenient to do it. And so you have to wonder if that's just going to make the runners not ever go up there again. It's nice to be able to route them both together because they're so out of the way.
I think in this particular seed, what's nice and convenient has gone out the window a long time ago.
That's true. It seems to be the case in this logic. If the beginning is nice to you, the end is very much not.
So we are just over an hour into the seed. We got kind of a neck-and-neck race going on. I think Troupster has the lead in terms of execution. He's completed more dungeons. Only Flaffy is right on his tail. The main issue we have at this point in time is that Flaffy has a significant knowledge gap. The ice rod is on the lumberjack ledge. Troupster doesn't know that. Turtle Rock is a required crystal, so that's going to have to happen at some point. Flaffy knows, Troupster doesn't. And it could be a long time before Troupster checks.
And the dungeon advantage is about to go away as Flaffy finishes up Thieves Town. They're going to have the same dungeons completed at this point.
Yeah, there's going to be some overworld checking that Flaffy will need to do. Troupster's kind of ahead. He's already done Dark Death Mountain, activated his flute. Certainly, I think in an overall better position if he had the knowledge. That knowledge of Lumberjack Ledge I don't think can be overstated at this point.
Oh, and a fetch quest in Checkerboard.
Do you want to do a fetch quest?
Troupster's probably gonna have to, just because of the items you need at this point. You can't really rule anything out, and it's pretty quick with the flute, which is nice.
Nope, and he abandoned his warp spot, so he's not planning on going right back to Meyer, at least right now.
Flaffy doing some digging of her own. Unfortunately, only gonna find Big 20 over there. Doesn't even pick it up. I feel like that's so rude if you find an item and you don't want to pick it up. It just wants to be picked up.
Nah, save the frames, man. Save the frames.
Spoken like a true runner. Oh, he gets her out in the blacksmith at the same time, which is always nice.
And with the mirror is going to be able to do it considerably more efficiently than I think Troupster was able to do it the first time.
Is Troupster doing a pedestal check?
Ooh,
Maybe. A pedestal check here.
I think you're right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen in chat. Oh, and he drops all the bombs. Get your guesses in. Head check. What's going to be here?
The powder.
Oh, how cruel. So here's what I'm hoping Troupster does. He still has the mushroom. He hasn't turned the mushroom in. You stop everything, you fake powder glitch, because the only way that powder is required is if something is in that bat cave right now. You take your time, you go and get it, and sequence break so you don't need that powder.
Speaking of important checks, we're gonna get that lumberjack cave check finally.
About time, Troop.
And now he knows too, yes. Frustration slashes at discovering the location of that ice rod there. That fake powder could be so important. Which you need the mushroom from checkerboard to do that, and you have to not turn it in. The knowledge advantage may have just shifted Troupster's way at this point.
Absolutely, and we see Troupster trying to use the lamp to burn through all of his magic. That's a lot of torches. Looked like he was almost like a Back to the Future, just kind of fire in his trail.
Did he get up to 88 miles an hour?
No, that was kind of slow going through there.
Well, what is this fake powder gonna give him? Oh, it's just 50 rupees.
$50. Oh man.
Oh, so
Okay.
such a smart route though.
No, that's something that you absolutely have to do. If you see powder on there, I am so glad that Troupster didn't turn the mushroom in. I would be someone that would have turned the mushroom in right away, but that's the reason why the fake powder glitch, ladies and gents. Because otherwise, you would have done it. If you're really hunting for something, you would have done that, and it would have been horrible. You would have had to complete all those dungeons.
Well, and especially with the flute, it's so easy to flute up to 2 to just turn it in immediately.
Oh, absolutely.
Refilling his magic here before heading up into the hut. Gotta imagine he's gonna fill up on nice potions while he's here. But the flippers! Oh!
The reverse troll!
Well, that opens up a lot. Swamp Palace being the biggest thing. Ice Palace as well. Though that could be fake flippered at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to be doing Ice Palace right now. Swamp is a little bit inconvenient to maneuver around.
Oh no, hookshot! Lake Hylia check at the same time is really smart, but just 50 rupees.
Oh,
going up
yeah,
to Hobo.
So he's going up to Hobo. He's going to go up because he has the rubies to go ahead to do Zora. And keep in mind, he hasn't done Zora. He's going to pick up the silvers on his pass-through. Flaffy has bypassed them because she did the earlier check there. Advantage Troupster at this point in time.
Yes, indeed. And Flaffy finds just a little bit of love in the ether tablet with the literacy. Oh, I was looking. What did Troupster pick up?
Nothing of consequence.
That's all right. Got that check out of the way. Yes, now he's gonna get the silvers up if he ever goes to Zora, but it's gonna be Ice Palace all the way at this point.
I think he's still looking for Fire Rod, or he's not.
The Hobo had hookshot.
Oh, Hobo did have something.
That might be significant.
I mean, sure, I suppose.
I mean, Swamp Palace is a crystal, so... And you can't beat the game without hookshot. I always forget about that.
I mean, I missed it. So here's the deal, chat. I did not check to see what Troupster had, so because I didn't see anything in chat, no one blowing up, I thought, oh, it must have not been anything. Not taking into account chat lag. My apologies.
Oh, it's okay. It was just funny because I missed it too, and so I just moved on, and then the hook shots came up, and I was like, wait a minute. Had to be... Oh, the butter sword! Do you still get the silvers if you're him when you check Zora? If you check Zora?
No. Honestly, I think at this point in time, it would take longer to swim around to get it. Even with Tempered Sword, it would take longer to swim around and get it than it would in terms of time saving. So, no.
It's nice to get this far ahead when you still have a few dungeons to complete. You can really make use of that butter sword. Flaffy going to get the flute. checking that bottom chest on the way.
I mean, that'll be a nice pickup for Flaffy, absolutely. And we know it'll help, but not quite as well as maybe she was hoping.
Oh, and a nice bomb jump from Troupster there. Probably gonna have to full clear Ice Palace though. You need those locations. That Fire Rod, it's rather elusive.
Yeah, Fire Rod's your go mode item at this point in time, so you're searching for it. You know where Ice Rod is, and thankfully Troupster did do that. It's gonna be interesting. Where, I mean, we're getting to a longer than an hour AGA required check.
Certainly the longest I've ever seen. And Flaffy's doing something really interesting by running into Turtle Rock here while she's on Dark World Death Mountain. Don't have the Fire Rod, but you can check that front chest, and if it's a small key, you can make your way to the back.
This could be interesting for Flaffy.
Oh. Compass, though, blocks all progress. Need the Fire Rod to progress any further.
I mean, typically you don't want to enter Turtle Rock without the Fire Rod anyway, but that just kind of reinforces it.
I mean, when you're already in Dark World Death Mountain, though, and you have the cane, I mean, it's going to take you forever to get back there. If it pans out, it's a bit of a gamble, but it has a huge payoff. Meanwhile, Constellation Prize, the flute's going to be activated, and that's going to be really nice for her. Got the anthem over Flaffy's screen. Meanwhile, Troupster is flying around Ice Palace.
I mean, worth pointing out that Flaffy is going to have to use the flute to get down to the mire area to get the mushroom in Checkerboard Cave to turn it in to get the flippers. So a little bit of a fetch quest chain that she's going to have to do.
Everybody's favorite fetch quest. Troupster picks up his first shield, which everyone loves to get the shield. Those leg frames. It feels so nice. Oh, and Flaffy's gonna go check Pedestal as well. It's a good idea while she's here and activating the flute to do this at the same time.
Well, and the difference is she doesn't have powder, or she doesn't have the mushroom, so she can't immediately go down and double check to see what's going to be on the magic bat. So she's seeing it and hoping maybe it is a fetch quest.
Frustration Blade Beam.
So a question in chat, and I think it's a relevant question. Troupster pretty clearly has advantage at this point in time. So people are asking, how can Flaffy win this? Aside from the obvious horrible monstrosities that can happen to Troupster in terms of Ganon falls and things of that nature, really what we're looking for is Fire Rod. If Flaffy finds Fire Rod in some out-of-the-way trolley location, and I think that's what she was hoping for there in Turtle Rock, where it being a Turtle Rock dive there. If Flaffy finds Fire Rod in a way far off out-of-the-way location that Troupster is unlikely to check for a while, then Flaffy would still have a chance.
I can think of one of those locations as Misery Mire. If she goes into there after checking Checkerboard here.
Absolutely, that could be a thing.
Troupster, meanwhile, saw Cold Stare and destroyed Cold Stare in about that moment of time. Very flawless fight on his part. Well, I didn't keep him in the corner, but in my opinion, that's a flawless fight. I can't ever do it. But Flaffy flutes away. Dumping her magic, also going to do the fake powder glitch.
Absolutely. I don't see how you don't do the fake powder glitch. when you see Powder on the pedestal.
Yeah, this is your only way of checking this item. Basically, yeah, you have to do this. There's a one for everyone who isn't aware. To do the fake powder glitch, you have to have the mushroom, empty your magic, and then use the mushroom, and there's a 1-frame window where if you unpause, the game will treat it as the powder. I'm probably missing a couple details on why that works, but...
Well, and you have to do it from the cane. Like, you have to use the cane and wait for that magic air, like, or you're out of magic. And during that beep, if you pause and switch over to the mushroom, that's when that happens.
Oh, you need the cane. I didn't actually know that. Learning some more.
Knowing is half the battle, sir.
In Randomizer, it's a lot of the battle.
So Flaffy turning in the mushroom will get her flippers. I mean, about a dungeon behind, which isn't horrible, all things considered, given everything that's happened in this seed so far. So Flaffy is absolutely still in this. It's just a matter of where that fire rod is.
And if you're Troupster, you have to full clear Swamp Palace to look for that fire rod, so you can't do the nice quick clear of this.
No, unless he finds fire rod early, at which point he'll treat it as if he's in go mode.
And Flaffy's gonna go do all the South Hyrule water locations. Now that she has her shiny pair of... or never mind.
Flaffy's gonna go get silvers, maybe.
Or check Waterfall Cave. Troupster never did that. I don't think.
I thought he did, but we'll see.
Well, because if he... did he fake flipper into it? Because he never came up here because he would have gotten the silvers and Art of Zoran at the same time.
Oh, that's right. He hasn't done this yet, so yeah. But it was just a red potion.
Which is nice, but it's not exactly the fire rod.
I always quote Dom DeLuise in those situations. Nice. Not thrilling, but nice. No? No? Okay.
It is very nice to have those red pots. I drink them like they're water, so... Just some more money for Troupster here in Swamp. It is not giving him that fire rod. Flaffy making her way through Ice Palace now.
Troupster bypassing the left side for now. Kind of the standard play, hoping that he can get all the value he needs through here, especially with only one item left to go for go mode. If you happen to find it back here, you can avoid everything else.
Yeah, that would save a lot of time not having to do left side Swamp Palace. Flaffy gets her Butter Sword, though, which is... that's also nice. Tempered Sword is really nice. Butter Sword, it's just nice. Oh, but Flaffy didn't pick up Hookshot before coming into Ice Palace, so that's going to make this a lot more awkward to route around. Certainly fully completable, but it's just a little more awkward. It takes a little bit longer.
Yeah, and given what has to happen, yeah, this could be... it might take Flaffy a little bit longer to get through.
Troupster went up in Swamp Palace, but didn't go back to check left side, just check the big key chest. That left side is Swamp Palace. If he doesn't come back for it, it's going to be really taunting.
I get the feeling he's going to come back for it at this point in time.
Unless Argus happens to be really nice.
it's possible. At this point, I'm also kind of hoping that Tower of Hera has it.
Oh, what if it's in the basement of Tower of Hera?
Well, I don't think it's in the basement, because in order to be in the basement, it would have to... the big key absolutely has to be in the basement in order to get through.
Oh, you're right. Yep, because they got the small key on the main floor. Yes. But either way, it would require the basement to proceed up, so I guess it's close to the same thing. Two spins and Argus goes down for Troupster. So let's see what he has. Just the compass.
Yeah, he's going to have to go back and get those remaining items, unfortunately. Or he completely bypasses it and makes fools of us all with his crazy gambling.
I mean, is there a world where you check Bombos and then go back after that?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Interesting. So, what is that? That's 2 chests, right?
Yeah, there are 2 treasure chests on the left side, and I believe if chat was counting correctly, there's 2 items left.
Well, if he doesn't go back there, that's something, but he's gonna have to.
Or he's gambling hard. Now, he is going up here and checking the Zora area because he has not done any of this yet. So he will likely pick up his silvers. Again, I don't know if I would, because when you have Butter Sword, silver's on the Zora ledge. I don't know how much time you would save there, but it's possible that you would go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable either way. It's going to save you a bit of time, but not a lot, but it's going to cost you a bit. Yeah, I don't know, split the difference, I guess. Also, it's looking at this point like we're going to have an egg and then kill after an hour and a half, which is the latest I've ever heard about it.
I mean, it's one for the books, certainly. But when Ice Rod is on that Lumberjack ledge, I mean, you can afford to put it off for a while.
Flaffy working on the hardest bomb jump I know of. That's using Randomizer and gets it there. Routing around Ice Palace without the hook shot is just so difficult, and that bomb jump makes it a little bit easier if you can do it. So well done on her part.
And I am being corrected by chat. Yes, absolutely, get the silvers. You're an idiot. It saves time. Shut up, Vita. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said the whole time. You have to get the silvers, right? Mm-hmm.
Of course. What are you guys talking about? There's no recording of this to say that I ever said that. What?
Yeah, no, not at all. Troupster went up to Death Mountain to go to Turtle Rock, maybe? But you don't have the fire rod, so maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, he's either that or he's going to route in Tower of Hera and check that entirely as well.
Well, the left side of Swamp here is going to wind up being incredibly important, especially if Flaffy also checks it on the first time through. That's how she gets back into this race right now, for sure.
Oh, and also, he does have Hookshot came up here as well, because he didn't have the Hookshot the first time around.
Oh,
so.
That's true. If he does find the fire rod up here, though, having to leave Death Mountain to go get the ice rod to come back up here again, that's going to be a bit awkward.
A bit awkward, and I'm sure he's going to be hitting his head against the wall where he, as soon as he gets it and realizes it, and be like, oh, this was dumb.
It is the hook shot.
So, Troupster, I mean, kudos to you, Troupster. You are in go mode at, well, go mode-ish.
Not technically go mode without it getting it, but for all intents and purposes, it's go mode. Flaffy's about to go take on Cold Stare. The Butter Sword will make this very nice, though, especially with Bomb Bush to take the ice off. Though no Fire Rod, I guess.
Troop, where are you going, Troupster?
Well, he has to finish Skull Woods to get the crystal.
Oh, so he's gonna finish the crystal, go kill Aghanim. Okay, okay.
Flaffy taking down Cold Stare, getting that crystal, finishing off Ice Palace.
So right now, what we know Flaffy needs, the hook shot, which is on Hobo, and the fire rod, which is in the hookshot cave. So there's a definite like breadcrumb progression that she has to do at this point. Hope she goes up there.
Hobo's a very nice check right now. I have to imagine she'll do that with the Hylia Island. And she is going to go check Hobo, so that will give Flaffy her hook shot.
This is kind of an inventive Hobo here.
Maybe he was trying to find a way out from under the bridge, and he was using the hook shot to get out of it. I don't know. But Troupster has it, and he's going to kill Mothula right now. And the Butter Sword and Fire Rod is going to make very quick work.
Yeah, I mean, red mail, whenever you have red mail, kind of the strategy is going to be try to get up close and personal. You'll take less damage being hit by Mothula with red mail than by the spikes, so get up close and personal with the bug at that point in time.
Flaffy has her green pendant, so she's probably going to go turn that in right now, it looks like. Unfortunately, that's not going to yield the Fire Rod. Flying to Link's house. You gotta imagine she's gonna go to take up Swamp Palace at this point.
Absolutely. She's going to still be looking for Fire Rod, but we know where it's at, so she's going to full clear it. Don't know if she'll skip left side ledge. How about that call by Troupster to go ahead and skip left side? That ended up saving quite a bit of time, all things said.
It did, but man, that was a big gamble. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would have had to check those chests.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. I'd be second guessing myself the entire time. So hats off to you, Troupster. What a gamble. And now we're getting a 127 Aghanim fight. And Aghanim 1, not Aghanim 2.
It's going to be the quickest Aghanim tower climb you'll ever see with the Silvers and Butter Sword.
I was going to say, this is going to be an incredibly fast... This is his go mode. He's going through here in order to get the Ice Rod off Lumberjack Ledge for go mode. This is almost an unfair fight here.
It's unfair, but nobody likes doing Aghanim, so it's fair. Flaffy has entered Swamp Palace. Gonna make her way as quick as she can through it, but the full clear is gonna take a little bit of time. It is nice having the lamp. I haven't tried to learn the Aghanim Tower Dark Rooms yet, but it seems incredibly difficult.
I think at this point in time, doing Dark Rooms with Dark Room Aghanim Tower is just... why? Like, if you're still looking for progression normally in order to be able to climb Aghanim's Tower or avoid climbing Aghanim's Tower, if your only progression is to do it, you would have found the lamp in the process. So I guess I don't know. Part of me wonders why you would even learn Dark Room Aghanims at this point in time.
Yeah, it doesn't seem super... I mean, it's cool, and it's very impressive when someone can pull it off, because I certainly could not. but it doesn't seem like the best use of time.
Not really. No. I guess if you wanted the swag, and I guess it's also a fair point to say that's why any of us do anything is for the swag.
Right. Just like that dash Troupster just did. That was really... I mean, it was quick, but it was a little swaggy, too. And now we get to see how many blue balls that Aghanim wants to give us here, just to delay things even longer.
All right, let's guess, guys. How many blue balls was Aghanim going to give us? I think statistically 3 is the most likely. Have any guess, Anna?
2.
That's fair.
It's supposed to be a little bit nice to make up for the ice rod being where it is, right? Uh-oh.
There's 2 already.
I do like the call out for 1 blue ball. It's... If only Aghanim was so gracious.
There's 3.
I have to wait for another lightning round. Aghanim is locking ice rod.
So 3 blue balls. Troupster defeats Aghanim and is going to flute over, get his ice rod, and will be climbing Death Mountain again.
It's so much fun. But
He's
the
made
nice part
quite a few trips up Death Mountain. I feel kind of bad for Troupster. This is 4 or 5 trips up Death Mountain for him.
He's just well practiced at it then. Should be easy. Though full go mode Turtle Rock is a very nice thing when you can do that.
I mean, it'll be nice. The issue is that, well, we already know what's in one treasure chest in there because of Flaffy's earlier dip. We have the compass. So he's still going to have to be hunting for keys for a little bit, at least for a while.
Oh, that's true. But those usually come fairly quickly. Hopefully we can avoid laser bridge shenanigans. Flaffy's taking on Argus here at the end of Swamp Palace.
Oh, this is a very nice Argus stretch. He's using butter pokes, which is easily the fastest way to do that. Very well done, Flaffy.
Oh, because the one hit from the butter sword takes out everybody, so you can just poke him. That is really cool. Nice kill on Argus there.
So it'll be interesting to see if Flaffy goes back in and goes left side. She skipped it, which is kind of a common practice. You skip left side, and if you need to go back because of items, you go back. We'll see if she does. Troupster skipped it entirely with nerves of steel, I gotta say. Flaffy is going back.
Yeah, and it's the play that I would make. I feel like it's such a gamble that, I mean, the payoff is high, so there's always that line of thinking. Because you're pretty certain the other runner is not going to do it, right? So if it pays off like it did, you know you're going to get a nice advantage from it.
But when you're 1 item from go mode, I mean, as we were talking about earlier, that's just nerves of steel of being able to do that. I will say, I think this has got to be one of the first times that we had an hour 30 Aghanim 1 fight, and we are likely still heading to a sub 2 hour finish.
That is true. There's not even many reasons to need Aghanim in this slate, and almost all of them are bad. So for this one to be quick afterward is really nice. Well, as nice as doing Aghanim can be.
Yeah, I only need it for one fight. That's it. Stupid ice rod.
I mean, would you rather have to fight Aghanim knowing the ice rod is there, or have to hunt every other random overworld location to find the ice rod that doesn't seem to want to be found?
I mean, if those are my only two options, I would rather not have to do Turtle Rock at all.
I didn't think of that possibility. Oh no, Flaffy flooded.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Did she-
No.
Okay, she got it.
No.
Someone
yeah.
asked.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a
Scared me.
revisit.
Don't do that to me.
See, Chet likes to scare us to make sure we're paying attention. It's just testing us. That's all it is.
Well, I failed considering the beast my heart just skipped.
All right, so what worthless stuff do we have on the left side?
One big 20? How about another big 20? Just to make it uniform. Arrow capacity is worse. Troupster's getting through the beginning parts of Turtle Rock here very quickly. Flaffy's heading up to Death Mountain, hopefully going to do that hookshot cave to get that fire rod. Unfortunately, has to take that long way around though without the hookshot. Boots helps it a lot though.
Boots do help quite a bit when you're going through here. So, Troupster stealing a key. I don't think has found the big key yet, so this is his last opportunity.
Got a quick look at the bunny sprite for the guard though. Is that just a Dark World guard, right?
Yeah, it's a Dark World pig.
Oh, Flaffy could have done hair. Thank goodness she didn't.
So Flaffy's going back up here and is going to be doing, I think the only thing she can do up here is Hookshot Cave, which Flaffy making the same, I'm not going to call it an error at this point, but the same kind of misrouting choice. Coming up here to check Tower of Hera, or to check Hookshot Cave, will get her go mode item, realize she can't do Turtle Rock.
But to be fair, how often are you thinking about doing Aghanim in an hour and 37 minutes?
I mean, you're not. You know it's going to happen, but you're not thinking about it.
It's one of those, okay, I'll find the fire rod. What do I have to do? Oh, Aghanim, that's right. Troupster has his key, so he will be running through the rest of Turtle Rock now. Few frustration slashes, that's totally understandable at this point. Nice hop over the roller by Troupster.
Absolutely. So Troop will have to check the laser bridge for one key, but that's it. As soon as he gets his key, he's done. Checked all the other treasure chests, so he won't have to backtrack at all. It's just a matter of which key or which treasure holds the key.
Flaffy also doing Skull Woods and killing Mothula before heading up to Aghanim, which makes sense. Let's see where this key wants to hide on Laser Bridge. Half magic with the cape makes this very easy.
Absolutely. And just the second treasure chest won't get a safety. On our way to Trinex.
Well done on Troupster's part to get the dash and trigger the switch twice. Looks so nice when you can pull that off.
Yeah, it's super swaggy.
And fast.
Swaggy and fast? That's like the holy grail of speedrunners.
Let's watch this Trinex by using that nice ice rod we've been looking at for the whole run here. Butter Sword 3 slashes takes down the fire head. Maybe switch over to the fire rod now to take down the ice head.
3 slashes, it's all it takes with Butter. Troupster got caught up a little bit, couldn't menu over while the fire head was exploding, so a little bit of a delay there.
Switching to the hookshot to get a bit of invincibility, and then one more slash after the spin takes down Trinex. Flaffy is about to go take on Mothula here. Oh, it's so hard to hit Mothula with that fire rod, but the Butter Sword will also help take it down really quick.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen of the speed gaming community, I direct your attention over here to Troupster, who is in go mode and approaching Ganon's Tower. We have a little game we here at Speed Gaming like to play. There are 22 treasure chests in Ganon's Tower that could possibly contain the Ganon Tower Big Key, 1 through 22. Go ahead and get your guesses in chat right now. Anak, what's your guess?
I usually guess Tile Room, but that's just too mean for this seed. I'm going to go with chest 17, which should be Rando Room. If by normal routing, right?
Yeah, by normal routing, we'll go. I'm feeling more generous than I was earlier today. I'm going to guess like Fire Bar Room, so around 8 this time.
Flaffy's deciding to go take care of Aghanim at this point to get up to Turtle Rock. Not in the first 2 chests for Troupster, so he's going to have to head over to the left. Oh, he's going right side.
All right, well, I mean, we'll see if this pays off. I've seen a lot of runners do right side in recent history, and not entirely sure why, but we will go with it.
I just always hope I don't have to do this room specifically, so I always go left side first.
Oh, we missed the that particular poke.
Let's see what's in here. The boomerang is not at all useful. Ah, not right side there.
He's gonna go over here, steal this key, and then I imagine he's mirroring back to the beginning.
Nice call there. We'll go check the chest with the Stelphos here real quick. Hey, the other boomerang. Both in the basement.
And he's grabbing the boomerang because if you can prevent the bob glitch, why not? You monster?
Yeah, that's the only reason I can think of, which is just cruel.
Well, the blue boomerang does allow you to do some different things in terms of hitting the switch down here, so saved him a little bit of time, maybe. I don't know what the plus minus was, but if when you see it, it might help you with some things.
I feel like the time gain is less than the time it takes to switch to the blue boomerang in the inventory, but the riot shield is nice.
I mean, yeah, I mean, at this point in time, pretty much anything that Troupster ends up getting is just nice. It's not great, not horrible, just kind of, all right, another thing.
It's the wrong golden item at this point, that's for sure. Flaffy is almost up to Aghanim, so she will be able to finish him off very quickly here, just getting into the last room. Nice hook shots on Troupster's part there. And the iframes to run through the spikes through by Troupster. Bonks over the fire bears.
Yeah, I mean, Troupster's routing has just been absolutely incredible for this entire race, start to finish. There were a couple times where I got a little concerned about him checking, for example, Lumberjack Ledge. But otherwise, his execution has been spot on.
It has been. Both the runners' execution has been very good, actually. Flaffy's making quick work of Aghanim. Well, as quick as Aghanim will allow. And there's the big key.
In that rando room.
I said
Goodness,
rando room. There we go. I'll count that.
You did say rando room. I think that would have been your guess had he gone to the left side first. 17 is what I'm seeing.
And now he gets to start the gauntlet.
Now remember, and I called it very early on. Remember, Troupster kept his bee. Troupster likes using bees on the gauntlet.
You did call that very, very early. If you wind up being right on that, I mean, can you predict lottery numbers for me? Because that's just impressive.
I mean, I don't know if it's so much impressive as he has explicitly told me that he wants to name it the Troupster B Strats, which don't think I'm quite going to give you. But
that would make it a little easier to know. Flaffy has finished off Aghanim. Gonna go make her way over and get that ice rod. Nice silver shot there.
And there goes the B use. It was kind of an awkward use right there, but it certainly helped him out in those first few rooms.
Yeah, picked off a couple things. Just makes it even just a little bit easier, especially with these silver shots. That's all he needed was just a little bit of help to run through here. Now we got Land Molas 2 with the silvers. Let's see if we get the one cycle. 1, 2. Oh, it dodged it. That's just not very nice.
Oh, and just barely dodged the second butter sword shot. I mean, it's only 2 hits with the butter sword, so.
Yeah, but he can one cycle. Why not?
I mean, sure. But, I mean, this was an amazing gauntlet for Troupster. He just blew right through it.
Oh, yeah, he barely stopped. Basically, he let out his B, and that was the most he stopped to do anything. Flaffy's on Death Mountain now. She has her ice rod. She's going to make her way up into Turtle Rock. Finish off Trinex so we can make her way to Ganon's Tower.
I mean, I don't know, other than that early death in the escape portion, I don't know if there's anything that I can really point that Flaffy did that's like, oh, this is where she lost the race. Like, it was just different routing decisions, and it wasn't bad routing in any capacity. It's just, oh, Troupster just had a little bit better routing, and it paid off.
That, and I mean, you could say her routing was even better with actually making sure to check left side swamp. You know, if she made the same gamble, she'd be a bit closer to here. So doing that was a lot safer. It was just a gamble that worked out on Troupster's part that got him this lead, which credit Troupster for doing that. That's not an accident or anything. That's really smart that it worked out. It's going to give him this very nice lead.
And chat pointing out she did have an issue where she didn't complete Thieves Town the first time, which is understandable. I can kind of see where she was coming from on that. Probably should have completed it, but I wouldn't consider that a major thing either.
Yeah, I mean, it only backfired because Thieves Town had the mitts. If it doesn't, I mean, then it would actually have worked out really well. Same. Yep. You know, it's this other side of the coin for Troupster, and not doing left side swamp. But Troupster is now in Aghanim 2. Got a triple in the first one. See if he can do it again. 1. Oh, so close. The blue ball didn't help. And Aghanim 2 is down. Very nice on Troupster's part.
Very nice cycle there.
I keep trying for the triple, and it usually winds up me getting hit twice. Probably shouldn't do that.
All right, so Troupster, I don't know. Let's see. Troupster has Red Mail, Butter Sword, silvers, half magic, 4 bottles with potions that I'm sure he will have to use at some point. I don't know. Do you think he's going to have much of a problem?
Well, the all-important question is, does he have another bee?
That's the most important question we can ask Troupster. Where's your B strats for Ganon?
B strats are really important on Ganon. And for someone who wants to be the pioneer of B strats, I feel like it's important.
That's fair. So, I mentioned this earlier. While Troupster is on his Ganon fight and he's moving through fast, Flaffy's getting ready to approach the Bunny Beam, where you're going to get to see Bunny Pikachu, possibly.
Not gonna lie, I'm a bit more focused on getting the Bunny Beam than actually Troupster just melting Ganon. Because I want to see this. No, don't dodge it! That was really... Oh, but this is a torch glitch on Troupster's part, but with Butter, Sword, and Silvers, Ganon's gonna go down really quickly.
Yeah, so that was Bidoof.
Oh, was that what that was? It was so...
Yeah,
okay, come on.
Bidoof.
One more time.
Oh, don't fall, Troop.
Oh, that would be unfortunate. And Ganon's down for Troupster with a nice double at the end there. Pikachu turning into Bidoof is awesome. Absolutely love that.
And GG Troupster. So even with a 130 Aghanim, we still have a sub 2 hour completion. GG Troupster.
Yes, well done, sir. That was a very impressive run.
He hasn't stopped his timer yet, but we know he's completed it. It's okay.
Timer's just for... It doesn't mean quite as much in Rando anyway. Besides being sub 2. That's a nice goal.
All right, let's see if we can get Troupster over here. Flaffy making her way through Turtle Rock. This will be her last dungeon as well.
Yeah, she will have this finished off really shortly. Just has to... Only thing left is finishing the dungeon and getting that last key on Laser Bridge. Oh, nice use of the hook shot there on Flaffy's part to dodge that fireball. That would have not been pleasant.
Yeah, I'm picking up some extra hearts there. 1, to save our ears so that we're not listening to the heart beeps. And 2, getting ready to come up to Laser Bridge.
And using the strategy second time.
Howdy.
And joining us is Troupster. How you feeling after that seed, Troop?
What a seed. There were some good trolls in that one.
I mean, how often do you do Aghanim at 130 and still get a sub 2 hour?
Very rarely. Very rarely. I realized when I saw what was going on at Meyer, something was up. I'm like, either this is a pedestal or egg or something's going on here. So I went up there to check it out. And then I saw the powder on the pedestal and I'm like, wait, I still didn't turn into mushroom. I'm going to be a hero. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be the best play of the tournament, but nothing. Fake powdering didn't result in anything.
I mean, we were calling for it as soon as we saw that. It's like, he has the mushroom. He can fake powder. Flaffy did the same thing, actually, right there. We were worried because, I mean, Flaffy checked Lumberjack Ledge kind of in the standard routing in the first, like, right after you do escape. So we knew Ice Rod from, like, the get-go.
Yeah.
And you didn't. And we were like, when's he going to check? When's he going to check? When's he going to check? And we were worried you'd do a Turtle Rock dip before checking it, but you didn't, luckily. Thank goodness.
I almost went into Meyer Meyer is what saved me because I was like this close to going into Meyer. It wanted me to come inside. It was like, come on, Troupster. I swear I have items for you.
Well, and you just got in the Ether Medallion. Well done, Troupster, by the way. That was a great run.
Like-
But why didn't you go into Meyer at that point? Because I certainly would have. You have all the items for it. It's just taunting you.
Well, that's right when I checked the pedestal. So I went to go see if I'm going in, I was going to see if I have to kill the boss for sure. I wanted that knowledge before I went in. Instead of having to second guess, like, well, do I kill Vitreous? There's no items, but maybe it's pedestal. I'd rather know it was pedestal beforehand. So all my plays changed then.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Fire Rod, I was scared I missed it early, but I was pretty sure it was behind Hookshot. That's why I ditched Swamp. That was a huge risk, but I mean, if it was in Swamp, yeah, if it was in Swamp, it was going to be in the back half behind the Hookshot, and it wasn't. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going with it. It's up on the mountain, and I have to come down to do Skull Woods with it anyway. Let's go check it out.
So I gotta ask, what was up with that left side gamble completely dipping out, even though there were 2 items still left in Swamp Palace? We were all wondering, like, oh, this is like such a huge gamble, and if it's there, it's going to be horrible. And no, it was fine.
I mean, in V29, they made it so that front room stays filled, and so like I rationalized just not going over there a lot of the time now. I'm like, I can come back.
Flaffy has taken down Trinex, gotten her last crystal, and is making her way into Ganon's tower.
Yeah, I knew she couldn't be far behind. The seed was long, and I checked almost everything. I was pretty nervous toward the end.
Was there ever a moment that you felt behind, for example, where you just started sweating and you're like, I gotta be behind at this point?
When I got boots, that felt pretty bad because I got them, I felt pretty late. They were in Thieves Town, right? I thought, oh
Yes.
great, she could have gone to Thieves Town super early, and she's running around, she's clearing the game, and meanwhile I don't even know what I was doing.
I gotta also ask you, what was up? I mean, you route diverged like immediately in the game. You went through escape and went, I'm gonna go ahead and go down here to the dam and get the bow, and then we're gonna do Eastern and just completely avoid Kakariko and make Vitasia out to be a liar. I mean, what's up with that, man?
I've kind of been doing this thing where if I get a good weapon and escape, I go to the South Shore and see if I can pick up like boots or flute, because no one ever does that. So I'm like, maybe it'll be a little edge I can get. And if I lose a little bit because I go to Kakariko late, great. I mean, I'm always going to go to Kakariko, so that's fine. But I'd rather have an advantage and try to steal one that way. So
That's an interesting mind game, because you're right. Yeah, your opponent is very likely to never do that. So if it pays off, that is a nice advantage for you.
yeah, it can be a few minutes.
You can't exactly skip Kakariko Village, yeah, so you're not really losing a lot by doing it. And in this case, it got you into Eastern, which really paid off.
Yeah, it wasn't like a super gain or super loss for me. I think I kind of broke even. I think everyone had to go everywhere there, so sometimes it's a loss. Like if up in the Kakariko north of the forest, there's like boots right there, then you get there late and you're like, well, I screwed up.
Well, I will say the turning point of this seed up to this point, I mean, you guys were pretty well neck and neck. What ended up happening is Flaffy went into Thieves Town and then dipped out, didn't complete Thieves Town, which you did, got Titan's Mitts, and that just kind of opened everything up for you at that point in time.
Yeah, that goes back to the Key Sanity tournament, the race I lost to Jet. I didn't clear Green Pendant Mire, and that cost me the race. So, never not clearing Green Pendant again. That's just a rule I have now. If I go into Green Pendant, I'm clearing that sucker.
Yeah, the Green Pendant, it's only one location, but it feels like such a bigger reward for doing those dungeons that it's just enough that sometimes you want to do it, and it feels so much better doing those.
Yeah, I felt pretty lost until I got the gloves, or the Titan's Mitts. I felt like I was just going all the wrong places.
Well, and that's part of the difficulty of the seed. I think was that you had so many options so early to go. There wasn't really a lot of direction to go off of.
Yeah,
So
and
you
I
kind
mean,
of just had to run around until you got something like that.
I felt really bad about Ice Rod Cave, Catfish, just all these one-off locations that started feeling worse and worse when the Fire Rod wasn't showing up. I'm like, oh no. But it kind of all worked out.
Yeah, it definitely did for sure. My question for you, I guess, would be is what would you change if you could go through the seed again? What route would you what check would you do? I mean, obviously it worked out. You won the race and hit a very great run, but what would you do differently? What did this run teach you, I guess?
I'm a little disappointed I didn't fake flipper because it's really valuable in V29. It seems fake flippering just always pays off. And then I actually confused myself because I normally do, and then when I got flippers, I'm like, wait, I haven't done any of this yet. So that was kind of late from me, and that felt awkward.
It paid off though, because you can't fake flipper to get those silvers that were on the ledge, and Flaffy did the earlier check, and now she's in the gauntlet, but is going to be doing silverless Ganon.
True.
Yeah, but imagine if you fake flippered and got the hook shot right away.
Yeah, but a lot of times sequence breaks really mess up your logic that you're following, even on your tracker in your head. It's really hard. If you go 2 or 3 sequences deep in a break, it gets really confusing where you need to be going or how you got there. Like, I knew that there was probably Fire Rod behind hookshot. I mean, obviously it's rando, so anything could be, but...
Right. But yeah, that's true. And yeah, the sequence breaks make it really hard to keep track of everything. I like, I'm just trying to learn everything, so that's why I like that question, because for me there's so much to learn about this game, and Vitasia taught me, I think, 3 different things in this run already, so it's interesting to hear you say that.
Yeah, it's I've been thinking about running 2 trackers when I play. One for everything I have, and then one for just sequence break items. It might get really confusing though.
Gets you really good at keeping the logic straight though, and figuring out how it really likes to place things when you do it that way. You can see how the game wants you to do it versus how you did it.
Yeah, I think I was most relieved when I got the book out of Spike Cave. That felt pretty rewarding. That felt good. I think it was in there, right?
Yes, that was where it's at, and that led to desert and all sorts of other things. Well, I think you had already had desert access because you had the mirror right beforehand. So
I don't remember exactly. I just know I noped out of Hera. That was another big gamble. That was just a straight up gamble. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the basement. I'm out of here, man.
Get that fairy. There you go. Flaffy just captured a fairy in a bottle. Philippa, last one, making her way up the gauntlet, has taken down Landmolas too already. She's doing a great job at running through this.
Yeah, she's a formidable opponent, so I was definitely on my toes.
So are you week 1 down? Are you any more nervous, less nervous as you're going through this Swiss rounds? Starting 1-0?
There's some really good people in this tournament. When they were calling out the names in the announcement stream, it was very tense. There's some people I'd definitely not like to play against early.
You got it. Don't worry about it.
After all, it's Randomizer, and anything can happen in Randomizer.
I think that's even more true with V29 than ever before. These seeds are just... There is no one dimension to V29. There's no understanding it. It's... Every time you load a V29 seed, it can be anything, which is cool in a way, and it's great for watching. But for playing, man, you just never know what to expect now.
It makes for incredible viewing experiences when things like that happen, and it's just been so much fun to watch these races through all this tournament, and there's so many of them, and so many crazy logics.
Do you have a preferred opponent that you would want to play in the next round?
Oh yeah, I mean, my old friend Grand Pooh Bear. I'd love to go against him. Um, just to see how we match up. He's an incredible gamer, but he doesn't have that much randomizer experience, so maybe that's not fair. Um, like you want to play your friends, but then you don't as well because you don't want one of you to lose. So I don't know.
So, Troop, there's a question in chat for you. Did you remember to confirm you had a sword before using medallions?
We had a sword in Escape, man. Thanks, Invario. I'm sure that was from them.
Potentially. Flaafykins has taken down Aghanim 2. Gonna be getting into this Ganon fight. Butter Sword will make it very quick. Silverless is gonna lengthen it just a little bit, but the Butter Sword will do some quick work here.
While Flaffy is going through this particular Ganon fight, there's still more randomizer. Can you guys believe it? There's still more randomizer tonight at midnight. Oh, it's just started over here on Speed Gaming 2. Parisian player versus Zero X on there. And then we have another one here in the next at 1 a.m. The Benchinator versus Dracaris on Speed Gaming. There's still more randomizer going on, and then all day tomorrow as well. It's the spring rando tournament. There's randomizer whenever you turn on any Speed Gaming channel, feels like.
Well, and the best part is it's not just this week, but it's going to be for the next 7 weeks that we're going to have this wall-to-wall randomizer, so plenty of randomizer fun for you all.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you guys commentating and restreaming, doing all the tracking. It's a lot of work that goes on, and not a lot of people get that opportunity. So even if this is my only one for the tournament, let's say I'm excited to watch it back, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Flaffy gets the torch glitches in final phase of Ganon. Torch glitch makes the silverless strats a lot easier.
Having some issues here with Ganon.
Some great dodges of the fire bats, though.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Flaffy. With the fall in the final phase again, and after at least half the hits are done.
We've all been there. I almost fell. I don't know if you guys caught that.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah, we saw.
I thought I was going to fall for sure, and I just held on for dear life.
Alright, this time, Flaffy.
Still doing all right. Ganon hugs are still best hugs. 5 hearts, 3 hearts, but does get to the final phase already.
Yeah, I think she has a good store of potions, so she should be able to get back up and continue the fight.
I was a little disappointed. I only got 2 rooms with my B strats. He ran away because he was scared of me, man.
I hear you are trying to pioneer the B strats. It seemed pretty effective, I'm not gonna lie.
It's really good, man. It's probably the best use of the B in the game.
It helps when you were sniping with the silver arrows across the screen, with the B was just polishing everything else up.
Yeah, if you watch his pattern, it's almost always he goes for the same one, so you can then focus on the other two in a room, and then you can kind of teamwork each room down.
I was gonna say, as soon as you picked up that bee, I knew that you would be holding on to that until the very end. I'm like, he's got his bee strats he's gonna be doing.
I was happy.
Nice uses of the lamp there to keep the torch lit by Flaffy just to conserve that magic even more.
All right, getting quite a few hits in, getting towards the end. Oh, with a poke. We're holding on with bated breath, Flaffy. You can do it.
I hate running towards the torches like that. I'm always nervous I'll just hold it for just a bit too long.
Oh yeah, I always try to hold out my sword just a little bit further in a different direction.
I think this phase is a lot easier with the fire rod, actually. When you get the timing and the rhythm down, you can get the 3 spins every time. It's pretty effective. Obviously risky though because of magic issues.
And there goes Ganon for Flaffy. Well done with the silverless strats. She'll be running through the door here in just a second, and a great run on her part.
Let's get your GGs in chat as we're pulling Flaffy into the channel. GG Flaffy.
Yes, well done.
GG.
I wish I had gotten that silvers just there at the end.
Yeah, it was just one little mistake. You did really good with the silverless strats after that, so
Yeah.
it probably would
So,
have taken more time to get them anyway.
so I got to ask you, kind of the differentiating factor here, unfortunately, between the two was Thieves Town and you delaying there, and of course there's Mitts were there, and other than that, you guys were neck and neck kind of the whole way.
I was not feeling good about any of the pendant dungeons.
Well, luckily, no one had to dip Meyer or Hera, so we're doing fine there.
I almost, looking for the fire rod, I almost went back to Hera. I was on my way, and I'm like, Hookshot Cave. I haven't been there yet.
Yeah,
Screw
when
Hera.
both of you thought we were going to run into Hera at that point when you're running up to Hookshots. Well, it's on the way.
I was about to.
But you both skipped it. I probably wouldn't
Mhm.
have. And taken forever in the basement.
So, Flaffy, unfortunately, I have to ask you kind of an embarrassing question here.
What the?
That escape,
Yeah. God, that was so long ago. I forgot I died there. I've died in Escape a lot. I'm not good at not taking hits.
Well, I mean,
And,
I guess it's good you
using
got
my
red
one
mail
bomb.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very healthy seed on that front with the red mail and all the hearts.
Yeah, the gear felt pretty good.
Yep. That's mostly why I didn't grab the silvers, is because when I went back up there with the flippers to check the waterfall cave, I had red mail and tempered, so I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Now, there was kind of an interesting knowledge gap for most of the run, and we were wondering when there was going to be some convergence. You did kind of the traditional routing for Lumberjacks, so you knew right away, eventually we're going to have to do Aghanim.
Yeah.
delayed until like an hour 12 or hour 13 in. He had no idea, so we were really wondering, like, you had the knowledge lead going into everything until the very end there.
If I had found Fire Rod any earlier, maybe, but with Fire Rod being my go mod item, any lead I had of knowing Ice Rod was there early.
Yeah, it was kind of a linear, all over the place seed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do this one thing, but do it here and then here and then here and then over here. And
That
I think-
cape, right after seeing the sword on the ledge, I'm like, come on, man. I just walked up there.
The best part was where, I mean, and you both did almost the exact same thing. You went, you checked pedestal, you saw it was the powder, and you're like, oh my god, I have to go do fake powder right now so I can not have to do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I checked before I went to the Mire area because, like, I swear to God, if it's a pedestal seed, I need to know before I go into the Mire area, because if it is, I'll go straight into Mire. And I saw it was that. I was like, oh no, please, 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 let me find the powder, or not the powder, the mushroom. And the next item I found was a mushroom.
well,
I
at
had
that point, there was 3 items that could be on pedestal, so the checks made sense. You really had to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
had
was
kind
like-
of a roller coaster right there. I went to the my area first, saw it was ether, didn't have ether, then I found ether, and I'm like, oh man, this is bad.
I think I had ether when I went in there, but yeah, when I got the flute and I was about to check the Mire area, I was like, I can now beat every pendant dungeon. Don't want to, but I can. So I had to have that knowledge.
Yeah, same. I think I may have said that backwards, but yeah, the powder on the pedestal, I was like, oh no, and then I was like, wait, I have the mushroom. I could be a genius.
This is where, like, if you don't know how to do fake powder, that would be like anxiety pedestal the entire time.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
All right, so any final comments from Troupster, Flaffy, either of you about the seed or tournament so far?
I liked the seed. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I know she's a good player, so all the bouncing around just made me nervous, and it was fun, but I was definitely scared for most of the seed. Good job.
You too. Congrats on the win.
Thanks.
All right, so thank you again, Troupster and Flaafykins. If you guys like what you saw from both these runners, go ahead and give them a follow on their Twitch channels. Also, a shout out to our wonderful trekker, Hitaka, doing all the work. I've not acknowledged Hitaka all race. I'm sorry, Hitaka. Thank you so much for all the work you've done. Also, Feasel for the restream, and my wonderful co-commentator. First commentary, we took it from him. We took his commentary virginity from him. Anaklamos. Thank you so much, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, it was a pleasure for me as well. Thank you to both of our runners for great races, and Hitaka for spot on tracking this race. It was a lot of fun, and excited to commentate more races in the future, and hope to get to commentate with you, Vatasia. I'm sorry. You know what? I knew I was going to get that wrong. Got it wrong in the last one.
Oh, it's all right. It's perfectly fine. And keep in mind, there's still more randomizer going on. There's over on Speed Gaming 2, we have Parisian Player versus Zero X, and then at 1 a.m. here in a half hour, the Benjinator versus Dracaris on Speed Gaming, the original. So still more randomizer today, guys, but otherwise, that's going to do it for us here at Speed Gaming 4. We're going to wrap things up here, and we'll see everyone at the next race.